In my 10 years of underwriting mid-Atlantic multifamily assets, I learned that the most defensive trades aren't found in the overbuilt Sunbelt, but in the recession-proof military and maritime hubs of the East Coast. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to capitalize on a supply-constrained market where absorption is now outpacing new deliveries. If you're looking to build a portfolio of high-yield assets that trade at a significant discount to replacement costs, this video is your roadmap. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to deconstruct the offering for 10710 Jefferson Avenue, a 17-unit portfolio in Newport News, Virginia. We'll start with the Maritime Moat, protecting the submarket, then dive into a unit-by-unit rent gap analysis, and finally, I'll reveal the underwriting logic that shows a clear path to 12.42% total return. But first, you need to understand why the current rent roll is leaving nearly $20,000 on the table every year. Chapter 1. The Maritime Moat. A deeply anchored military and naval manufacturing economy. The investors often overlook Newport News because they don't see the moat. This is the city home to Huntington Ingalls Industries, the largest military shipbuilder in the U.S. and exclusive producer of Navy aircraft carriers. We are talking about over 23,000 high-wage jobs in a multi-decade Department of Defense funding pipeline that guarantees a stable renter base. The property at 10710 Jefferson is strategically positioned within 10 minutes of the Newport News Williamsburg International Airport and Hampton University. It's a transit-oriented location with easy access to the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel and I-64. While other markets are facing a supply bulge, the Virginia Peninsula has minimal new construction. This lack of inventory protects your occupancy and creates a floor for rent growth. Newport News is deeply integrated into the broader Hampton Roads region, which holds one of the highest concentration of military personnel in the country. This isn't just a place where people live, it's a place where the global supply chain and national defense coverage. As an investor, you aren't just buying brick and mortar, you're buying into a network of aerospace technology and maritime support operations that diversify the market. Furthermore, the expansion of the Port of Virginia acts as a massive tailwind for employment growth. This is a sticky economy where the labor force is highly skilled and the barriers to entry for new competitors are highly due to the unique coastal geography and limited available land for developments. Chapter 2. The 1960s Vintage Advantage. High-fidelity 1960s construction with scalable unit mix, recently renovated. Now, 10710 Jefferson Avenue consists of 17 units built in 1960. This vintage is a sweet spot for value-add investors because the bones are typically solid, yet the floor plans offer significant efficiency. So, unit mix, 3 studios at 600 square feet each, 12 one-bedrooms at 700 square feet, and 2 two-bedrooms at 1,000 square feet. So, the price per square foot is much more appealing, making the $1.7 million asking price look much more attractive against local comps. Currently, the weighted average rent is $965. Looking at the interior photos, you'll see clean, modernized kitchens with gray cabinetry and white appliances. The heavy lifting on several interiors is done, yet there remains a loss to lease of 9.3% in the current numbers. This creates a curiosity gap. If the units are in good shape, why is the income lagging? And their answer lies in operational inefficiency we'll cover in the financials. To build these units from scratch today would cost significantly more than $100,000 per unit price tag. The property is situated on 0.32 acres, providing a compact, manageable footprint. The interior aesthetics, featuring durable hardwood floor, suggest that this asset is already positioned to compete with higher priced products in the submarket once management is optimized. Chapter 3. $26,000 yield expansion. Capturing the 169 basis point cap rate expansion. See, this is where the value add thesis becomes a mathematical reality. Currently, the asset is performing at a 6.51 cap rate, and in year one of the pro forma, we project an expansion to 8.2% cap rate. So how do we get there? It's not just about raising rents, it's about economic occupancy. So 1, closing the rent gap. We're moving gross potential rent from $217,000 to $223,000. Utility bill back. We're maintaining a consistent $11,000 in utility reimbursements, effectively recapturing costs. Vacancy compression. The current physical vacancy is high at 10%. By stabilizing the asset under professional management, we underwrite a 5% total vacancy deduction in year one. The result? Your cash-on-cash return jumps from a modest 4% today to a staggering 9.64% by the end of year one. This is the plan. Buy the stability of the 6.5 current yield and manage your way into a double-digit total return. Let's look at other income line item. Currently, the total other income is projected to rise to $23,000 in year one. This includes utility billbacks and other ancillary fees that many smaller landlords simply forget to collect. By tightening these operations, you are effectively creating found money. This transition represents a total return increase from $33,000 to over $63,000 annually. That is nearly doubling your total return through disciplined operational uplift rather than banking on speculative market appreciation alone. It's about taking an undermanaged 1960s asset and applying institutional level rigors to the collections and occupancy. Chapter 4: Defensive Underwriting. Institutional grade expense management. A common mistake in middle market deals is under budgeting for the future. To build a credible thesis, we've adjusted the expense ratio. While current expenses sit at 44% of the effective gross income, our year one model actually increases certain line items to ensure long-term stability. For example, look at the real estate taxes. We've underwritten an increase from $13,000 to $20,000 to account for sale price reassessment. We've also allocated $250 per unit annually for operating reserves. Notice the management fee adjustment. We've increased from 7% to 8% in a year one pro forma. Why? Because to capture the rent premiums we discussed, you need top-tier property management. Even with these higher defensive costs, the net operating income is projected to grow from $110,000 to $139,000. We were budgeting for a massive increase in repairs and maintenance, moving that figure roughly from $4,100 up to $12,000. We aren't just trying to squeeze the property for a quick buck. We are positioning it to be the premier workforce housing option in this micro location. And when you see an underwriter increase expense budget while still showing a higher return, that's when you know you found a deal with real meat on the bones. See, this aggressive maintenance budget ensures that the property can withstand any deferred maintenance issues common with 1960s assets, providing a sleep well at night factor by the investor. By normalizing these costs now, we prevent the expense creep later in the hold period. Chapter 5: The Reality Check. Buying below replacement costs. $1.7 million price tag justified. Let's look at the proof. At $100,000 per unit, 10710 Jefferson is priced competitively against recent sales in the region. Take a look at the Norfolk comps. Assets that are trading for as high as $155,000 per unit. Even older 1940 builds are in the area trading for over $109 per unit. So we are coming in at a lower price per unit while offering much better vintage and corrected square footage that proves we aren't overpaying on a square foot basis. On the rent side, the story is even more compelling. Our one bedroom rents were averaging $938, the market average $987, with some competitors achieving over $1,000 for units that are actually smaller than our 700 square foot corrected size. When you analyze the rent per square foot, the value proposition clarifies because our one bedrooms are actually 700 square feet and our two bedrooms are 1,000 square feet. The tenant is getting significantly more utility for their dollar. This validates that the market is willing to pay a premium for this specific location. This isn't just growth, it's a structural transformation of a property's P&L. Moreover, our two bedroom units at 1,000 square feet are absolute unicorns in this price bracket. Most competing two bedrooms in Newport News struggle to break 850 square feet. By offering a full 1,000 square foot layout, you're appealing to long-term residents and families, which traditionally leads to lower turnover, higher net effective rent over the life of the investment. So what's next? This property is simple. You're acquiring a stabilized asset in a high momentum maritime market at a favorable entry point. You're insulated by the massive federal presence of Newport News Shipbuilding and the supply constraints of the peninsula. We've shown the proof in the sales comps, the promise of 12.42% total return, and the plan to capture 9.3% loss to the lease. This portfolio is exclusively listed by me, Justin Ferguson, at Marcus and Millichap of the Yazoon Group. All property showings are by appointment only. If you want to see the full rent roll, the detailed expense breakdown, site survey, you can download the Offering Memorandum using the link in the description below. Remember, Newport News is not just a solid market today, it's a market actively shaping its future through infrastructure and naval manufacturing. This is your chance to own a piece of that durability. Next step, if you want me to cover the asset's debt coverage ratio, which we project climbing from 1.23 to 1.54 against other 60s vintage deal currently on the market, let me know. Thanks for watching.